the House comes to order, I'll hear from the member for Newcastle.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy. How will the Albanese government's safeguard mechanism reform strengthen our economy, and what's been the response of the passage of this through the House yesterday?
The call to the Minister for Climate Change and Energy.
Well, thanks very much, Mr Speaker. I thank my honourable friend for the question. I know how proud she is to be the member for one of the great industrial and energy powerhouses of our nation, Mr Speaker. And I know that her Hunter colleagues and her Illawarra colleagues and all the regional colleagues on this side of the House know that the regions that have powered Australia and have been the economic centre of Australia for so long will be the centre of a renewable Australia as well. And they know we have to seize the opportunities. And increasingly, Mr Speaker, economic success for industries and for countries will be determined by those countries that have the best framework for decarbonisation. Investors will demand it, insurers will demand it, and consumers demand it as well. So increasingly, economic success and climate success are interlinked. And that's why the passage of the Safeguard Bill through the House yesterday and its passage through the Senate later this week will be so important for our future. And it has, the honourable member asked me about the response, it has been welcomed across the business community, because what the Albanese government is doing this week has received the support of the Business Council and the Climate Council. It's received the support of the ACF and the AIG, the Australian Conservation Foundation and the Australian Industry Group. That's what this government works so hard on, getting the policy right to reduce emissions and to increase economic activity. The Business Council said that it is a tough but achievable framework that the government has announced yesterday. The II Group, the Australian Industry Group, said the treatment of new facilities appears to strike a workable balance, providing pathways for new projects that stack up to go ahead without adding burdens to existing facilities or threatening national emissions goals. The Investor Group on Climate Change has said the reforms will help unlock investment in new and existing industries that will maximise Australia's competitive advantages in a net zero world. That's what the business community thinks about these reforms. Now, those opposite think they know business better than the Business Council. Those opposite think they know industry better than the Australian Industry Group. The Shadow Minister was asked this morning.
Member for Hume.
He was railing against safeguard reforms, and it was put to him by Laura Jays, well, business disagrees. How do you square that away? And he said, well, you might say business disagrees. There are some business associations that have supported the principle, but that wasn't his best answer. He was then asked, you did sign up to net zero. How are you going to get there? His response, great question. Great question. Well, while he's asking great questions, the Albanese government's delivering on the job.
Member for Fairfax. Order. The member for Hume will resume his seat.